babies.
Yo.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hey, baby. Long time no see.
Long time no see. How are you?
Awesome. It's going to be a gorgeous day.
It is a
Record-
gorgeous day.
Dude, record this early. Going to get a nice pool day right after this.
So you're going over to Mr. Martin's house after and enjoy a nice day. Hey, yeah, we got to get this over with because, it's a nice day. Bruins play at 7 tonight. So let's just get all the bullshit out of the way and just have a nice day.
Yeah, that's what I figured. If it was just us, we'll just try to go as early as possible. This works great.
I mean, I think you wanted to go at 9, probably 8 if you had your choice, but I'm
No,
sorry.
I didn't get up till like 8:30. Then I kind of started cleaning up the house a little bit. The old lady was here. She just left. So
you gotta make it a little presentable for the old lady. I get it.
She don't care. She cleans my house half the time anyways.
So this is gonna be weird, Bill. I'll be in the host chair today. I'm gonna try
it's been a while.
I'm gonna try my best. Yeah, work off a little rust, but don't worry. I cracked open a beer already. It's 9:59 in the morning, and I already cracked my first beer.
It was a shit show the other day. Trying to do it Thursday. We tried everything, and
You've never been up there, but Rich is traveling. He's going the New England tour right now. He's up in the White Mountains, and there is absolutely zero service up there. So I don't even know how he thought it was going to happen, but
we've done it before, and then like as soon as we get on, we start recording, and then he immediately is like, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
We stop, try something else, start again. And then I was going to do a solo show on Friday, but I got caught up. And then by the time I got home, I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
It's 90 degrees out. I'm going outside.
Yeah.
It's just stayed outside all day. I was like, oh, fuck it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, well.
So we're going to do this. We're not going to pretend. We're recording this Sunday morning, 10 a.m. right now. So let's get into it. So good morning and welcome to Monday Headlines, May 24th. Let's get to it.
Wasn't your worst intro?
No, I tried. But today's show is being brought to you by White Birch Brewing, and that's what I missed the most while I was away on vacation. White Birch Brewing. I didn't have any good beers down there, only Bud Lights. Nothing beats White Birch Brewing, though. Bill, address, please.
460 Amherst Street.
Nashua, New Hampshire. Please go check them out. My favorite, something a lot more interesting. It's a triple IPA, 11%. Get your day going right here. But they have different beers, double IPAs, sours, fruit beers. They got everything down there. Go see Dave. He's doing great things down there. And tell him the Simple Mind Boys sent him. So, yeah, let's get into it. Bill, Friday night. What a game.
Playoff
hockey. You can't beat it. The Bruins beat the Capitals 4-1 to take a commanding 3-1 series lead. Game 5 is tonight. We're not faking this. It's tonight. We're not going to play prediction because I heard those two shows you guys did. The predictions weren't that great.
We tried. It was weird.
Yeah, so we're not going to do that. We're going to call it as it is. It's Sunday morning. Game 5 is tonight. 3 power play goals from the Bruins, 3 for 5 on the night on Friday. Tuukka Rask, 19 saves. By far the best game of the series for the Bruins. Bill, who has to step up in Game 5 tonight for them to close it out?
Oh, man, I mean, you still want to see the first line kind of keep it rolling. You finally got Pastrnak on the sheet. I don't think they've been great all series. I mean, Marchand's got 3 goals. I believe he's got 1 on the power play.
May I interrupt you right there? Because I know Rich did a lot of tooting while I was gone. May I say toot because I said Brad Marchand was having a great series, and he's continuing to have a great series right now.
I wouldn't say great. He's 50-50. He caught a lot of stupid penalties, especially Game 3. We haven't really touched on that, but, you go in double overtime in Game 3, and, he had a bad penalty, unsportsmanlike, that led directly to a power play goal, and you were chasing that whole night. But yeah, Game 4, I mean, that was definitely the best game you've seen all series. You really needed him to step up. 3 for 5 in the power play. You were 2 for 11 kind of entering the game. You made some changes. Krejci, McAvoy back on that line. Grizzly and Nick Ritchie are out of that. So, I mean, yeah, that's what you really need to see and like to keep him going. I mean, Tuukka's been fairly solid, especially the last couple games. I mean, you just kind of...
He's not even being tested, though. Sorry.
Yeah, 19 shots. I mean,
that's nothing.
You're seeing the emergence of Charlie McAvoy. He's playing almost 27 minutes of ice time. You saw, I think it was the night before, he had 8.5 minutes of penalty kill time. The Bruins could not stay out of the box. If the Bruins lose Charlie McAvoy, it's done. I mean, he's been their best player from day one in this series. He's looked the best. He's one of the top 5-6 defensemen in the league, and you're kind of showing it now. They're just unleashing him, and he's playing just as many minutes. He's leading the season, leading the series in minutes. Bruins are like 5-1 or 5-2 in 5-on-5 goal scoring with him on the ice too. I mean, I thought this series would go 7, but man, you're up 3-1, and realistically, you probably could have won the series. You know, you had a couple bad goals in game 1. I mean, you could have swept.
Yeah,
I would expect them to put it away tonight, if not game 6. I don't see it going game 7 anymore, and I just think they're done. You've kind of bottled up Ovechkin. You see him come score a couple power plays, but McAvoy has kind of shut down that line a little bit, especially the last couple of games. I mean, he's just been so fucking great. So if you
they all shut him down. He has that point right off the face-off circle on the left-hand side, and they're just stopping him. Like during game 4, that's all they did. You just saw them corral him, and he couldn't do anything. I mean, yes, he scored a goal, but it was on the power play. But other than that, he's been a ghost of himself, and he's been leading the charge. You could see this frustration in game 3 when he broke the stick.
Don't sleep, bitch.
Yeah, on the game 2, game 3 loss and double overtime. But yeah, Ovechkin hasn't been Ovechkin in this whole series.
Well, he came in hurt too. You know, I read he was 60-70% going in. Just, you know, kind of talking to my buddy, man, his stepdad's a fucking big Capitals fan too, and we were talking game 1 about it.
Yeah.
You know, Rich said he was healthy. He's skating around like a kind of a maniac out there. He's kind of a little more tied in down there, being in that DC, Maryland area. But, I mean, I didn't expect this. I thought the series was going to be a grind. You saw it the first 3 games, you know, and then game 4, the Bruins just fucking took over.
Yeah.
You know, and the lethal power play, you really need that to keep going. 3 for 5 on the night. I mean,
that was amazing. I mean, as soon as they went on the power play, you know, we used to be the big power play team. You know, would be first in the league in power play. Coming alive right now, and it's looking good. But the scary part is Dmitry Orlov's hit on Kevin Miller, which I thought should have been a major penalty. He left his feet. He went for the head. They looked at it. They just called it a double minor. It seems like Kevin Miller's not playing tonight, but
yeah, he's out. He's in the hospital.
No, he's actually checked out.
Yeah, he's out. Yeah, but he's
out.
But
he went to the hospital. Yeah, he's out for the. So obviously that's going to be a defender left on the bench. You know, someone's going to step up for that. But it seemed like that woke the Bruins up. Brad Marchand scored on that power play, and then it was just goals all night after that. Do you think that? So Kevin Miller's not playing tonight. So who has to step up in the defenseman in his absence?
Well, I mean, you're going to move Connor Clifton over to the right side from the left side. Now you're going to start bringing in Tenorti or Vakanainen, which it scares to death. It scares me to death. I mean, that's a big hole.
Yeah.
I don't think he was super great in the series, but he's been kind of solid, especially in the early parts of, you know, game or Friday night.
Yeah.
It's a big void. I'm hoping it's not going to carry them into for long term, but I mean, you're just going to test the depth. Lazon's out, you know, Zorbo's kind of banged up. You're not going to see him again. So, I mean, if they're going to Nordy and Vakanainen, that scares the shit out of me.
Yep.
So again, you're going to really rely on Charlie McAvoy. I wouldn't be surprised to see Grizzly McAvoy, you know, the top 2 lines double shifting, especially with Carlo and Mike Riley. You might, especially in the third period, if you're up or you're chasing, you're going to get those guys off the ice.
Yeah.
You know, you can't. As much as I like Clifton, I think he's been solid, but I don't trust Tenorti or Vakanainen right now. And hopefully this is, you know, maybe a 1-game thing. It didn't sound like he's got a full concussion.
It didn't even look that bad. I mean, not to interrupt you, but that hit they showed it a few times in slow motion. It looked like he almost got hit in the shoulder. And what happened was he came down on the ice and hit his head on the ice.
Which would make sense considering why he didn't get the game misconduct and you know, the 5-minute major. I'm okay with that. You know, I tend to let him play a little bit more in the playoffs. You've seen him kind of swallow their whistle, especially at double overtime game 3. I mean, you know, you saw Pastrnak on a breakaway that I don't think it should have been a penalty shot, but he should have definitely got a 2-minute for hooking on there. And Brad Marchand missed it. You know, he got interfered with going to the net earlier in that first overtime. So I mean, I don't necessarily care that he didn't get suspended. I mean, a fine would have been fine. You know, the worst thing is I think it looked worse because he left his feet, but I think the initial contact was more chest, hip, shoulder area, you know, and you saw more of that whiplash and smashing his head on the ice. I thought that the John Tavares one was a little bit worse out there in Toronto, which that was completely accidental, but you know, you saw him just trying to get up and it was just a mess. He's out indefinitely. So, I mean, hopefully Miller's not out for that long. You kind of need him. You're going to need him because that veteran presence on defense, and he's a guy that'll step up for his guys too. You know, so
speaking of veteran leadership, and I didn't put this in the email, but again, I just want to toot my own horn since Rich isn't here to yell at me. Char looks like shit. Char looks like he's hurting this Capitals defense more than anything right now. He looks slow. He doesn't look like he's energized. He looks like he's just like going through the motions.
Yeah.
I'm so glad this guy's off this team. I think he would have been hurting us more than helping us more than anything right now. And I think he's like the Achilles heel for the Capitals right now in defense.
Yeah, I mean, you saw a game. I think game 2, he played 2 shifts in the third period. You know, and I don't think he stepped foot on the ice in overtime. Game 3, you saw him more in the overtime again because you were going the second overtime. You really couldn't not play him. He's getting a lot of penalty kill minutes, and I think he was one of the biggest reasons why the Bruins were 2 for 11 going in. I mean, that big stick, those big bodies on that penalty kill. But yeah, he's not been good.
No,
I think me and Rich both agree. I mean, he would have probably played just as much as he would have on Washington if he was still on the Bruins. But I mean, I was fine with them. I'm not upset they let him go. I was fine either way. I mean, they probably could have used him in the middle of the season. You might have been the number 1 seed, truthfully.
Yeah.
Excuse me, with how many defensive
injuries we had.
Injuries you had, so you probably could have been number 1 seed. But I'm fine with it just because kind of looking around at the series right now, the way Islanders and Pittsburgh are playing, and the way you're kind of manhandling Washington. I was kind of looking at some of the numbers going in. I thought Washington was dominant, but you look at before Game 4, the hits were like 120 to 103. The shots were like 126 to like 118. So everything in the power plays, they were 2 for 10 going into Game 4, and then the Bruins were 2 for 11. So I mean, everything's been pretty hit. Even the hits are about equal.
Yeah.
Face-off percentage. I mean, Bruins have basically won the series except for Game 3. They were down under 50%, but
Game 3 they were sloppy on the face-off.
They're 40% in Game 3, and then Game 1 and 2 they're over 60.
Yeah.
So I mean, the series has been real close, and I mean, I guess you could really say Rass has kind of been a difference maker. I mean, you saw, Game 1, I thought he was a little shaky. Game 2, he got a lot of credit. I didn't think he was awesome. I just think he was solid. He wasn't really tested much. And then Game 4, I don't think he's been great, but he's been better than Samsonov and Anderson have. And that, you're seeing it. Samsonov was first goal he picked in 2015, and you kind of throw him in there right away. These are his first 2 starts, and he has not looked. I mean, he looked good in Game 3 until late. Dumb fucking leaving the puck behind the net for a good Craig Smith goal. But yeah, I mean, he was not good.
Got hurt in Game 4 too. I mean, he stayed in the net, but he got hurt. He got hit with a skate right in the thigh or groin area. So I mean, I thought that was going to be it, and Anderson was going to come back in, but he stayed in there, and he doesn't look very good. I mean, Game 5's tonight, like we said. Pasta finally got on the score sheet. I mean, I don't know if you watched the Game 4. I'm assuming you did because you're a hockey guy, Bill. But that's all
I didn't watch a lot of it. I listened to because I was out. So
all the announcers were saying, like, this is Pasta's night. He's going to get the chance. He had chance after chance after chance. Finally, the third period, he scores. The erection line is looking good. The second line's looking great. I mean, Hall, Krejci, those guys are like flying around the ice. I love it right now. What's your prediction for this tonight? Do you think they close it out?
I expect them to, just the way after they played it, and I thought Game 3 you were really, really bad. I thought that was the worst game in their series. They played Game 3 in the double overtime until overtime happened, and then they flipped the switch.
Yeah.
I thought you were
they
chasing
controlled the whole game.
You were chasing all night. You couldn't get the puck out of your net. Defense out of your own zone. Defense couldn't do anything. I mean, you got 3 shots in the third period. And after that Marchand power play goal to tie it at 2-2, you were running for your life. You couldn't get the puck out of your own net, out of your own blue line, and they were just killing you. And then from the first overtime until the end of Game 4, you saw a completely another different team. I think it was 20-7 in shots in the overtime periods, and then obviously you just fucking dominated Game 4. I expect them to close it out. The momentum's on their side. Just don't let them creep back in.
Yeah.
Don't let this series.
We've seen it before. We've seen someone lose a 3-1 lead. We don't want that to happen. Looking ahead, saying we do close it out. Pens and Islanders are both tied at 2 after the Islanders beat the Penguins last night. Do you think either of these guys have a chance on us, or do you think after us, like taking care of the Caps, we're going to be the favorite to win the whole thing?
I wouldn't say the favorite to win the whole thing. I just the way Tampa's playing right now,
or to come out of the East. I'm sorry,
come out of the East. Yes, I think I'd honestly just the way they've played against the Islanders this year. I kind of wish Pittsburgh might take them out. Honestly, I think you're better than both of them. But you were 5-3 against Pittsburgh this year, and I believe you're 4-4 against or 3-5 against.
They had our number early on.
You won the last 3 against them, I believe. But yeah, I would. You should be. You're the best team in the East. I thought you were number 1 team going into the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
Before the regular season. But yeah, they're a favorite. They should be a favorite to win the East. I wouldn't put them a favorite to win the.
Not the whole thing. I'm sorry. Just come out of the East. Yeah.
Yeah, they should come out of the East. But yeah, Tampa right now they're up 3-1 on.
And how does it go after this? So if we come out of the East, who do we play after that?
The winner of the South.
The South. Okay, so that'd be Tampa Bay or
yeah. I think it's Tampa because you're going to have one winner from each conference. So I think the West and the North play, and then the East and the South. I think I'm not 100% sure, but it would make sense logistically because that's the way they've been trying to do it.
Yeah.
So I could see the West Coast, especially if a team's like Edmonton or
And the NHL still has no idea what's going to happen.
No, they don't. They have no clue, which is kind of funny because like they won't even let the Blue Jays in. They're playing in Durant, Florida right now. They're about to go up to Buffalo.
Yeah.
They're going to head up to Buffalo, but yeah, the borders are still closed.
No fans in the stadiums in Canada.
So I work with some French Canadians, and she was telling me, she's like, yeah, you can fly in, but they immediately, you leave the airport, they send you in a hotel at your expense. There's 24-hour guards outside your door, so you can't leave. Then you have to wait for your tests. They don't give you rapid tests, so if it takes 4 or 5 days to get a test,
you're paying 4 or 5 days in a hotel room on your own dime.
It's for as long as you're in that hotel
Jesus
room.
Christ.
Yeah, and then if you fail, then they just put you back on a plane and you're out.
That's crazy.
It's weird. I mean, you think with how many vaccines and all that out now that it'd be easier, but yeah, you just move them down. Like me and Rich talked about this before. If it's Toronto makes it, just move them down to like Detroit or somewhere.
Yeah.
Right over the border.
Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo wouldn't be bad. I mean, especially if they play the West, you can kind of shift them over there.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Vegas, maybe Seattle's new arena's up. Maybe they could just kind of.
You just need something with accommodations, like
you're not going to worry about the fans anymore at this point. In Vegas is wide open. There's no COVID restrictions there anymore. I'm assuming a lot of these Toronto guys have been tested, so that lifts more of the restrictions.
Yeah,
I think the NHL is still that 85%. Same thing with baseball, football. If 85% of those guys are vaccinated, you basically don't have a lot of restrictions anymore. So,
all right. Well, let's hope the Bruins do it tonight and close it out in Game 5 against the Caps. Moving on to some disappointment from the Boston area. Our Boston Celtics lose to the three-headed monster Brooklyn Nets 104-93 last night. Pissed me off. I know you probably didn't watch a minute of it, Bill.
No, I didn't.
No. So the first half, it was a stunner. The Celtics were up at halftime. Got me invested. I was watching, and then the three-headed monster took over in the third quarter. KD 32 points, Harden 21 points, Kyrie 29 points. Is this a 4 or 5 game series, Bill?
4.
4, yeah. I agree. Yeah. I think it's 4. It's a sweep.
Sweep.
A sweep. The Celtics have no chance, no shot. I mean, their bench. Brooklyn didn't even have a bench scoring. Like I think their bench scored 11 points last night. It was basically the 3 superstars just took over.
Well, they combined for 80 points. And I think that's the biggest thing. And when you were out, I had this conversation with Rich, and those guys can turn it on whenever they want.
Yeah, KD was looking like shit in the beginning. The first half, he looked like shit. He couldn't hit anything. I think he was 8 for 20 or something like that. And then
32 points.
32 points, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those guys, they're 3 of the top 15 players in the world, wherever you want to rank Kyrie, 3 of the top 20. Yeah. Depending. And it's just.
I say 3 of the top 10.
I don't put Kyrie in top 10. I just fuck him. But yeah,
he plays. If he wasn't his cunty self and he was actually like
he's right there. He's right on it.
He'd be top 10.
It's just, I mean, this is kind of worst case. You're going to get rolled by Philly. You're going to get rolled by New Jersey. You'd hope they make it competitive. I would have been fine if they just lost the play-in tournament and just got a little higher draft pick just to get embarrassed by the Nets. This is a joke.
Yeah. The green teamer. You're gonna hear the green teamers say, "Well, we don't have Jalen in there," and
you wouldn't have a chance.
You still wouldn't have a chance. This is going to be a clean sweep, regardless if you had a healthy team or not. This team is just not invested. They don't want to be there. They go through the motions. Just end the season now. Get it over with.
They shut down Tatum. Tatum had 23 points. They shut him down in the second half. Yeah. And that's all you got to do. You don't have consistent scoring right now. We haven't had consistent scoring for years, even with Kemba and Jaylen Brown. And you had this little run where he scored 40 or more in like 6-8 games that kind of finished the year, including 3 50 points and that 60-pointer, which was a fake one against the Timberwolves. But yeah, I mean, you shut him out. Kemba's a shell of himself. Jaylen Brown's out. Marcus Smart can't score. You don't trust Evan Fournier. They put no respect on any of these guys, and they fucking
Parker looked good though. Parker looked good. I mean, he hasn't been playing meaningful minutes in a long time, and he comes in and he's playing playoff basketball now with the Celtics. He looked pretty good last night. First half, at least, he looked pretty good. I mean, obviously, second half's a different story, but it's good. I wonder what they're going to do with him next year if they bring him back. A nice bench.
Well, you got him. You signed him for a 2-year deal. So
is it 2-year? So it's Fournier that's up on at the end of this year, right?
Yeah, and I would expect them to bring Fournier back. You used the majority or mid-level. I think you got 11 million and change left, or somewhere around there, 9 to 10. So you can still add a piece there. I don't mind Fournier on the bench scoring. You just got to figure out this Kemba situation. I mean, we can get into it in the off season, but you really got to kind of figure this shit out. I mean, it's just.
And we will be figuring that out sooner rather than later because the off season's coming up quick next week, probably end of the Celtics season. Thank God. But let's move on to something that excites you more than anything in the world, Bill. Baseball. Red Sox still the best team in the MLB, 29-18 record. They beat the Phillies last night, 4-3. Nathan Eovaldi, 5 1/3 innings pitched, finally lets up a homer in the 6th inning. Last pitcher to let up a homer after 50-plus innings of pitching. Is Eovaldi the biggest surprise for you in the first 2 months of the season?
Yeah, but did you want to touch on LeBron before?
We can touch on LeBron later.
All right. Eovaldi, yeah, he's looked okay. I wouldn't say he's the ace of the staff, but I mean, he's obviously, I guess you can consider him. He's been, consistently one of their best pitchers. The home run streak's cool. Yeah, cool. I think Garrett Cole kind of did the same thing. I don't really give a shit about that. I mean,
Eovaldi should be in the bullpen. He's a bullpen pitcher. He should be a closer. This is like a big task for him to go and be in the starting lineup. And
I don't think so.
He's basically the ace of the team because Erod obviously had that scare at the beginning of the season with the dead arm. He had to come in. He's the ace. He's playing the best. He's going up against the best pitchers on each team each night that he pitches. So I think that him going out there and having a winning record right now is a big surprise to most Red Sox fans.
It's more of the team too. I mean, again, he pitched good really early. The last 3 or 4 starts, I don't think he's been awesome. He's more of the bullpen guy. I mean, I think on this team, you're seeing him as a 1 or 2 starter. I feel more comfortable with him being your 4th or 5th starter on a good staff. But I think the main thing is he's healthy. And this team's scoring a lot of runs, especially when he starts. So I mean, yeah, you're going to need him going forward. As long as that health stays there, I expect him. I'm happy with the 3.5, 4 ERA. He's going to get a lot of strikeouts. I just wish he would kind of go deeper into games, and that's a Red Sox pitching staff as a whole. You can't keep relying on these guys at 5 innings, and that's a big thing. You're going to wear out your bullpen, but it's good. Before even Philly, you took 2 out of 3 from Toronto, which was huge because you lost 8-0 the first game. Yeah. And then you kind of came back. We were going to touch on this the other night, but JD Martinez, a 2-run jack in the top of the 9th inning. You're down a run. You're down 2 runs going into that, I believe, and you kind of came back 3 runs in the 9th. Just clutch hitting. You win 9-8.
They don't quit. Guys.
Matt Barnes has looked electric. I don't think he looked great last night. He kind of had, I think he 2 walks. Had first and second with 1 out, got Harper to strike out, and then Rise Hoskins, I think, grounded out to end the game. But I mean, you got a problem getting there. You got one of the best closers in baseball, but you got to get there. So you really need these pitchers to start going, 6, 7 innings. Nick Pivetta looked okay the other night. I mean, he, again, a lot of hits, a lot of walks. I think he walked 5 guys, barely only made it 5 innings. Again, your offense the night before did well to kind of come back, keep you in that game. And again, it's just, you just got to get hope that bullpen will stay healthy. But you got a pretty favorable schedule coming up. I know we got the Braves a couple games, but they haven't looked great. They just lost Yanoa, who just punched a wall the other day, broke his hand. So I mean, it's a mess. Soroka's down for the year. He just had another surgery on his Achilles. Acuna's been beat up, so I mean, you'd hope that you can kind of come in and Charlie Morton hasn't looked good. Drew Smiley, which I think you get more in one of these 2 games, so it's going to be good. I mean, you got the best record in the American League. Yeah. I think they're a little overachieving, but the longer this goes, the more I'll start believing they're for real. That's for damn sure.
And 1 game above Tampa Bay, who is on like a 9-game winning streak.
They won 9 in a row. They just traded
crazy.
They just traded Willie Adams, their starting shortstop. So this pretty much paves the way for Wander Franco. He's the number 1 prospect in the game. He's a 20-year-old shortstop, 5-tool player. At this point, I think he's hitting like 380 down in AAA. Jesus. Again, you just freed up a spot with Willie Adams going to Milwaukee. So this should help. I mean, the Tampa's good. I don't like their pitching long term. They lost Morton, they lost Blake Snell, but Tyler Glasnow is still pitching great. And
but their farm system's always been that like they could just lose a big piece to free agency because they're not going to pay top dollar.
Arizona is hitting like 275. He's got 7 jacks, 5 steals. I mean, he's right up there. Tampa's a good fucking team.
Tampa's a good team.
Don't sleep on the Yankees either.
The Yankees are coming up too. Yep.
They're 2 games back or 3 games back. Toronto's like 5 games back. The East at one point looked like it was going to be
a dud,
a dud, but you're in for a dogfight. I mean,
You got 4 teams right there that could take it.
Sox have some holes, but they need, Sox definitely have some holes. I'd like to see him add a starter.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
need
they just added a bench guy in Santana who just came up, who's done okay in the first few games. But yeah, you need to get another starter and probably a bullpen arm because again, 5 innings, these nerds. Which is, I know we might touch on this later, but all these no hitters, Maz made a good point. It's like, how are you getting a no hitter when every guy doesn't go through the 3rd time in the lineup now? It's like, this is a fucking, you're seeing it, and it's the nerds.
It's the nerds. The nerds taking over baseball. It sucks. It's ruining the game. But you already touched on it. Next, obviously, we close out with the Phillies, but the next 2 games are against the Braves on Tuesday and Wednesday. Garrett Richards and Nick Pivetta pitching. If we can take 2 away from the Braves, do you think, and the pitching looks good, do you think that we actually have a real shot to win the AL East?
It's hard for me to come off my projections. I still have them at 82, 83 wins. But like I said, if you can get through, give me another 2 weeks. See if you're playing this good. I'll probably say you're right in the thick of things. I just try.
So let me interrupt you real quick. So the next 2 weeks, you got the Braves for 2 games, then you got the Marlins for a weekend series, then you play Houston. That's Houston's 26-20 right now, I believe. The Marlins are not that bad. They're 23-26, I think.
Yeah, so that whole division in the NL East is kind of under 500. I think New York Mets are the only team over it right now.
Yeah, so I mean, if you can get through the next 2 weeks, I mean, yeah, they have a under 500 record, but still, they're not terrible. You're not playing Pittsburgh that it's like a layup. Marlins could actually give you,
They just lost 20-1 to the Braves the other night.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I think that we actually have a fighting chance. Like you said, there's 4 teams in the AL East that really have a shot at it. It's us, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, and the Rays. So, I mean, you just got to keep fighting. We got to keep winning series. That's all it is.
Yeah, and again, Yankees got to get healthy too. Stan, he's out. He should be back this week if all reports are good. I mean, they kind of shut him down just to give him a couple extra days to get healthy. They got reinforcements. Severino's coming back probably within the next month.
Yeah.
For their rotation. So I mean they're going to be there, which they just got Luke Voigt back, so I mean that team's there too.
Yeah,
it's hard. I still think right now I still could probably see him as the 3rd best team in the division. I just think you got New York was playing bad. You're seeing what Tampa could do. They started off kind of crappy. Toronto still, they're right there, but I just don't think they have the guns yet.
Well, you see what happened with the Yankees too. They had the injury bug. We haven't had the big injury bug. No big superstars gone down.
Yeah, we'll see what happens when George Springer gets back for Toronto. That's a feisty young team. And Vlad Guerrero, you're seeing that superstar. He's 22 right now, 2nd in the league in home runs. He's hit 360. He's he's got over 35 runs, over 35 RBIs, 13 jacks. He's got a steal. I mean, he's a fucking superstar in the making. So I mean, that's a team. It's going to be a dogfight.
Yeah.
Baltimore sucks. They're already out. But I mean, Tampa again. You bring up Wander Franco, and if the hype is real, he's going to be real. They're a good young team. So I mean, yeah, it's going to be fun. I think Alex Cora factor is huge. I mean, he's definitely the best manager in the American League East for sure. So
absolutely, turn this whole thing around.
You hope he's going to be a difference maker, but I mean, just get to the All-Star break, kind of hovering around.
Fighting around,
fighting for first. I mean, I would say they look more like a playoff
healthy and staying in first. Healthy and fighting for first. What you need to do for the All-Star break.
Yeah, you seen Verdugo get banged up the last couple games, but
yeah, Xander Bogaerts goes yard again, 10th of the year. He's now hitting 345. Is he the best player in the league?
Best shortstop.
Yeah,
I would say best player.
You don't think he'd be in the MVP conversation right now?
He could get up there. Yeah, he might finish top 5 or 6, depending on when the Red Sox go. But I mean, yeah, with Mike Trout out. But I mean, Ronald Acuna is the best. Acuna's out there. Ozzie Albies down there in the Braves. I mean, you're going to see them, the next couple games.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good young talent. I mean, he's, even Mookie Betts. I mean, were you going to put him up there? No, but I think the way he's playing right now, he's the best shortstop in the league. He's getting better and better every single year. And now you're seeing, I think Alex Cora factor is huge. I mean, he's one of those guys that didn't quit last year either. Now he's got Cora back, his binky. There was a lot of rumors that he walked up into the office, kind of the back stairwell, and basically said, like, I want him back. And they don't want to lose him. He can opt out next year, at the end of next year. So obviously you want to be able to keep your home ground town. He just played his over 1,000 games, the Red Sox shortstop. So I mean,
you can't lose him. You lost Betts. You've lost all these superstars.
You got to keep your home ground
town. You got to keep them, man. It'd be another black eye for this organization if you lose another top young guy coming up that could be an MVP caliber type player. I mean,
yeah, I'd like to see his defense get a little bit better. I don't. He's not terrible at defense. He's solid. He's not your Gold Glover, but I mean,
No.
he'll make the good plays. But yeah, he's definitely right now the best shortstop. And again, maybe until Franco comes up, and if I expect him to be better, especially only 20. But that's neither here or there right now. But yeah, top best shortstop in the league this year. I don't put him in the top 10 players, overall players, but maybe top 25.
Yeah, you're a baseball
30.
guy, so I was just getting your opinion. I mean, that's a 345. He's the best hitting guy on the team right now. 10th home run. He's a smaller guy. He doesn't hit for homers all the time, so it's nice to see that he's up there and playing well. And the Red Sox are continuing winning.
Yeah, because I would take Vlad Guerrero over him.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just saying right now, he's surprising people. I mean, 10 home runs, 345. I know he's not going to continue doing this, but it's nice to see right now in the first 2 months of the season.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, he's the best shortstop in the league.
Yeah.
So that's where he is.
And he's not being paid like the best shortstop in the league, like over there in San Diego.
He's like 20 million, 18, 20 million. He's right up there. But yeah, it's good. And again, you just want to make him happy. You want to keep him. You don't want him opting out and have to pay him fucking mega bucks. Keep your homegrown talent. You fucked up with bets.
Yeah.
I think.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Dave Dombrowski came out and said this week, he's like, yeah, if we trade Betts, I'll burn my house down. So they fired him and traded Betts.
Speaking of which, you touched on it earlier. I totally misplayed it, but LeBron James, real quick. I don't know if you guys seen this or heard about it, but LeBron James playing this week tonight. They played game 1 against the Suns. Basically went out to a tequila launch party, broke COVID protocol. The league investigated it, said he's not going to get suspended. If this was any other NBA player, suspension, fines, organization would get fined. Nothing for this guy. I'm getting sick and tired of the LeBron James treatment, how he can do no wrong and he can go to these launch parties and blah, 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 and not get fined and not get suspended. I think it's a black eye for the NBA that they're not doing anything. So I don't know what your thoughts are. I don't know if you even heard about it, Bill, but I was just pissed off. I think that the Lakers are getting the star treatment that they're letting their best player do whatever the fuck he wants, breaking protocol, and nothing's going to happen to him.
He's the baby darling in the NBA. And I think that's huge. Charles Barkley said it best. The NBA doesn't have the balls to suspend him, especially going in the playoffs. Maybe if it's a regular season, he'd probably lose a game or two or at least a heavy fine. I'm sick of the way he's the darling in the NBA. I'm sick of the way they fucking treat him.
Yeah.
And not only that, but we had touched on this in our text exchange. That whole thing of the Warriors game where he got poked in the eye. Why is it every single fucking time that he has an injury or does something, it's like, yeah, I had this injury. Oh, and it's like,
I thought he got shot from the stands. The way he was rolling around on the ground, I'm like, oh my God, did he get shot? Like, what the fuck happened?
And then I was seeing 3 baskets out there. The time so it was funny. Kevin Pillar took a 95-mile-an-hour fastball in the face.
Oh my God, I saw that.
Stayed down for 36 seconds. LeBron gets poked in the eye, stays down for 80 seconds. And Kevin Pillar played the next game. It's like, dude, come on. Like, I'm just so tired of it. Like,
the Kevin Pillar thing too is hilarious. The press conference after, like, one of the reporters asked him, "Hey, how are you feeling?" And you could just see him like fucking everything's fractured on his face. And he's like, I'm feeling fine. Bullshit, dude. You probably can't breathe out of your nose. You're breathing out of your mouth. You feel like shit, but yet LeBron gets poked and it's the end of the world.
I don't even think he had any breaks. I just think he just got a nice bruise. Like, he just.
Oh no, I think something got fractured. Something had to get fractured. Man.
Yeah, either way. But I just, again, it's the whole. You're breaking protocol. You're going in the playoffs. At least give him a game. It's bullshit. Find him a game check. Do something. But again, if Kyrie Irving does this, you suspended him more than likely, just the way he's been kind of.
Anyone does this, they're suspending him. Even LeBron James.
Kevin Durant would have did the same thing. Like, all these guys would have got suspended. And again,
he's
the
LeBron
best
James.
player. He's LeBron James, and the NBA doesn't have the balls to suspend him. No. Adam Silver is a gutless fish.
Yeah. Please, Bill, I have no beeps, so don't go over the line today. Let's get to the Patriots. I was off all week. I was the most magical place in the world, Disney. So a lot of rumors coming out. Julio Jones wants to play with Cam Newton.
Is that for sure, though? Did he definitely
he came out and said he wants to play with Cam Newton. Did Julio Jones not see Cam Newton through for 69 yards in one game? Nice. If this is, in fact, something that he wants to go do, what would it take for Julio to come to the Patriots? Obviously, a contract has to be restructured, but what would you have to give up to get Julio Jones?
You'd like to say a first, but he's a 31-year-old wide receiver, played 9 games.
Actually, he's 32, I think.
32. Yeah, well, he's 31 last year, going to be 32 this year. Played 9 games last year. Foot, ankle, hamstrings. He's had it all over the years. Just He's a baller. I love Julio Jones. If the price is right, yeah, second or third, I'd be happy with. And again, you have the cap space, so you don't necessarily need to restructure his deal a lot. And again, if you win, the sweepstakes for Julio, you're going to kind of see the Patriots just flex their abundance of cash going into the season and completely and utterly revamp their whole team. But at one point, you're paying essentially Nelson Aguilar $11 million a year on average. If I'm Julio, my benchmark's 12, 13 million because I ain't coming in for anything less than fucking Nelson Aguilar.
No, but obviously, what would you? Obviously, the structure and money aside, what would the Patriots have to give up to get Julio?
I said second or third.
You think that's all it would take is a second or third round pick for one of the best wide receivers?
Maybe a player. I'd throw in Gilmore in a pick, maybe. The same thing what we were talking about for Jimmy G, which at this point Jimmy's not going anywhere.
Because I believe you did say they're going to have a 30 million cap hit if they get rid of
you can
cap space.
Yeah, you and again if it's post June 1st, you can take that dead cap and spread it out over 2 years. I think it's going to be 15 this year and like 9 next year. I don't think it's a full 30 million, but it's anywhere from 25 to 30. They just signed him. He's a $20 million a year wide receiver.
How dumb would it be? You just got Kyle Pitts, so obviously you're rolling with Matt Ryan. You didn't address the quarterback issue. You're gonna have Kyle Pitts. You're looking to come back. The NFC South. You got Tampa Bay, who's obviously Tom Brady. You got Carolina, who now has Sam Darnold. You got New Orleans, who just has Drew Brees retired, so you have Jameis Winston. So you actually have a shot at a wild card, maybe, if you can beat Carolina and New Orleans, two rivals in your division. How dumb is it that the Falcons are saying, all right, let's get rid of Julio Jones? Because now they are listening, as of this morning, they are listening to trade talks.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty stupid because you think you would have tried to address a quarterback situation. But again, he's due like $60 million over the next, $20 million this year and 40 next year if he's traded. So, I mean, you think that's why you try to get rid of him. But yeah, if you can get something for Julio, I don't think any team's going to pay a first. And if I'm Belichick, I'm not paying a first. But if you can get like a second, maybe a third round pick, I would be okay with that. But again, you better hope Cam Newton can throw the football. Yeah. If not, I mean, this is a move probably for Mac Jones. You actually heard Cam, the rumors are out today that he is throwing with the throwing coach. He's trying to get his old mechanics back. I don't trust it, but I mean, they're giving this guy every opportunity to be the starting quarterback to start week 1. I still expect him to start week 1, but
speaking of quarterbacks on this team, Brian Hoyer was signed last week. He comes back to the squad. We now have 4 quarterbacks. We got Cam, we got Hoyer, we got Mac Jones, and we got Stidham. Do you think they're going to roll with 4 quarterbacks come week 1, or do you think Stidham's on his way out?
Yeah, I would. No, I'd say 2, maybe 3. They kept 3 last year. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Brian Hoyer.
Well, I think they kept 3. Sorry to interrupt you, but I think they kept 3 because they had to with the COVID thing, right? They locked Hoyer or Stidham away on a hotel just in case one of the 2 starters get.
Well, they were on the roster, yeah. I mean, they were still traveling for games, but yeah, I would expect 3.
Yeah.
I
do you think Stidham's on his way out?
Yeah, as soon as they signed Mac Jones, as soon as they drafted Mac Jones, I figured and then getting Brian Hoyer just reaffirmed it. I just think it's going to be one of those 2 guys. And shit, you might just see Cam and Mac Jones on the roster. Truthfully, if you're deeper in other spots where you can't really carry 4 guys, I mean, look at
the running backs that they always keep. They always keep 5 fucking
running backs.
The tight ends they now have
4
or 5. Did they release?
Well, they have Matt Lacoste, but I don't expect him to be there. But
that's what I'm saying. So yeah.
Your defensive backs that you've drafted over the last couple of years, you just drafted another safety, your D line. So I mean, they might see it as other needs. You've looked at back in the years. Brian Hoyer lost his job when they got Ryan Mallett.
Ryan Mallett, yep.
He kind of lost his job there. And you if they're deeper in other positions that they need it, then yeah, I don't expect it. I don't know if you can kind of sneak Stidham on the practice squad. I'm not sure how that works.
I don't either. I was going to ask you that too.
I'm not sure because last year you could put anyone on the practice squad with COVID. I don't know
about this year. Yeah, this year the rules might be changed, and plus, doesn't he have to go through waivers?
Yeah, he's a 3rd-year guy, so So you'd have to clear. Someone would take a chance on him. Maybe you could dump him for a 6th or 7th round pick. But I don't.
Houston, I can see him. Houston.
Yeah, I don't expect Hoyer or Stidham here. I think you're going to roll 2 quarterbacks, and then you keep Hoyer on speed dial just in case.
But do you think Hoyer's here for Mac Jones? Like, do you think this is like to help Mac Jones speed up the process to learn the playbook a little faster?
It could. I mean, it could. I mean, him and Hoyer run the same type of offense where Cam's more of your option threat, running quarterback type. So, yeah, I mean, that could be the reason. But, again, I read something today, too. They signed a long snapper. They got 3 kickers in camp. So they were thinking with the long snapper, you bring in an extra holder and Brian Hoyer that's held, so it kind of takes some pressure off Joe Cordero, whatever his name is, and they were saying maybe that was one of the reasons too. So
interesting. So like I said earlier, Bill, I don't have a beep button. I'm going to let you go off, but please keep in mind that I don't have the beep. Okay? Ray Bork says that Tom Brady should be welcomed back to Gillette with a hero's welcome. Bill, please, the floor is yours. God. Two of your favorite people right now, Ray Bork and Tom Brady. Go ahead.
So obviously, my feelings about Ray Bork. I wish that piece of shit would die. I fucking hate him as much as I hate Tom Brady now, more for the off the field shit and kind of the way it ended here. If anybody's going to come back to get a hero's welcome, it's definitely Tom Brady. He's the greatest football player that ever lived. He won 6 Super Bowls for this team. I don't like the guys that are still fans for him right now. The Brady jersey, Tampa jerseys guys are wishing well for him as true Patriots fans. I think we both agree on that. I mean, I didn't want to see him win a Super Bowl with another team, so I was obviously pulling for Kansas City in that, but
yeah,
give him his video tribute, give him all that stuff. I think if for one player to come back and do it, it should be Brady, but that's where it should end. I get more pissed off about the fucking fans, the turncoat fans that were not Patriots fans that are now Tampa fans. You see it, dude.
I saw it at the airport when I was coming home from Orlando. I saw people wearing Tampa Bay Super Bowl championship hats, and then they had like their Patriots sweatshirt on. I'm like, do you know how stupid you fucking look right now? Like, that is the dumbest look you could have right now. Yeah, he should have a hero's welcome. He did win 6 Super Bowls, but I don't know if you guys realize this. He didn't want to be here anymore. He didn't want to sign here. He left. It wasn't Bill Belichick that forced him out. They offered him a contract. He didn't want to be here. He went to Tampa Bay. He took his ball and he went to Tampa. I mean, you guys got to read between the lines. This guy didn't want to be here anymore. Bill didn't force him out. Bill treats everyone the same. From everyone that says that's been in that locker room, there's no player that gets a superstar treatment. Everyone gets treated the same. Tom Brady got treated the same. Should he? No, he won 6 Super Bowls, but still, why get the special treatment? I mean, give him a little video package. All you're gonna see there is Tampa Bay fans, because the tickets right now I think are $1,500 for nosebleed seats right now. So
yeah, it's
people that want to go there, it's gonna be fucking just the Tampa Bay fans. That's all it's going to be. And it's going to be ridiculous. I fucking hate it. I'm just over this. I can't wait for week 4 to come and him to get fucking demolished and his dad to have a heart attack and fucking croak. Anyways, Speaking of which, Rich isn't here. So let's talk some golf.
Got to make this quick.
So let's talk some golf. Phil Mickelson's going into the final round. I don't know if you watched any of it. I watched yesterday. He's got a 1-shot lead. He could be the oldest player to ever win the PGA Championship major at 50 years old. The last guy to do it was Julius Boros back in 1968. He was 48 years old. Do you think he wins? First question, do you think Phil wins it? He's got a 1-stroke lead on Brooks Koepka. And do you think that the PGA is missing a superstar like Tiger Woods that is hurting the game right now? Because Rory, DJ, and Ricky Fowler, all these guys were the next guys up and all failed. So is that hurting PGA?
I wouldn't say they all failed, but yeah, I mean, for the rating standpoint, he's the most popular golfer ever. Mm-hmm. But I mean, he hasn't really played great. He had the Masters, and after the Masters, he hasn't been awesome. But I mean, yeah, Phil, I'd like to see him win as much as I hate his guts. But some of this stuff that he does and says is cool. I mean, even last night he was like, you need to move this drone. I'm gonna hit the drone when he's trying to fucking hit off the fairway early. Yeah. So I expect him to win.
He had a wild chip on 18, and I was watching it yesterday because I was just after a whole week of vacation, I just wanted to sit down.
I didn't get to see it. I was at the beach.
Yeah, I was enjoying it. He had this wild chip on 18. He was fucking in the bunker or off to the bunker, and he just fucking chipped it, and it hits the flagpole. I'm like, all right, this guy's on. He's going to probably take this whole thing. Koepka bogeyed his last hole to fall 1 shot behind, but they're teeing off at 2:30 today. He could be the oldest golfer ever to win a major, so that'd be something cool to watch.
Brooks is not an easy out, though. He's won 3 majors,
yeah.
In the last 4 or 5 years. So, I mean, he's not an easy out, too. So we'll see. But yeah, I didn't get to watch a lot of it. Obviously, it was so fucking nice this weekend. I just haven't wanted to be in the house.
Yeah, well, I'm the total opposite. I was out in the sun down in Florida all week.
I'm burnt. $12 ice creams.
$6, thank you. And I am burnt, so I don't want to be outside at all. So I'm the total opposite of you right now. But so that's it, Bill. This has been the Simple Minds Sports Show. Monday headlines, May 24th. Hopefully, next headline show on Wednesday, the gang will be back together. But until then, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, that was it. Nice job.
Sweet. So what are we doing now?
I don't know.
Tuesday show?
I don't know. Do you want to do Tuesday show? I don't think Rich is not going to be back.
I didn't really prepare for it.
So why don't we do what we've always wanted to do and just throw a curveball to Rich and just do whatever the fuck we want to do for Tuesday's show?
Yeah, we can shoot the shit.
Yeah.